Hey y'all, welcome back to Movement Link. So I just want to spend a few minutes to talk to my baseball and softball players out there and just really show you how a lot of the exercises that we do in the gym and how we think of things translate directly into your fielding. So real quick, let's just take a look at the position, our kind of ready position here. We got to be ready to move any direction. So first of all, our feet are straight. Okay, and if you can follow along with this video if you want, but go ahead and turn those feet out and get ready to actually field the ball. You don't have a chance. Okay, so just remember, in your sport, your feet are going to be straight. Okay, so if you're in the weight room and we're sitting there and we're taking advice from power lifters and Olympic weightlifters, remember, we want to learn from them, but we also want to take everything within context. And their sport is 1 rep max back squat, bench press, deadlift, or 1 rep max snatch, clean and jerk. It's a very different sport than using your training in the gym and trying to translate it to the field. So in the field, we have that little bit wider stance. It's kind of a partial range of motion here. Okay, our feet are going to be straight. That way we can pivot and move any direction we need. And then as we're actually fielding that ball, what do? We squat down, and then we're getting down here to field that ball ready to come up from it. So this looks like a little bit wider, straight-footed squat. So the squatting you need to choose to do in the gym, of course, we want a lot of variation. So that doesn't mean this has to be the only style of squat that you do in the gym. But for you fielders, the primary way y'all should be squatting is with a little bit wider stance, straight feet. That way we get really strong in these positions here. If we translate that to just having a weight on our back, it looks basically the exact same here, okay, as we get ready for fielding. So it's going to be super important that we're not just squatting to squat, or we're not avoiding the squat because we're scared of hurting our knees. Too bad. Look what happens if you avoid the squat. You're squatting in your sport anyway. So the worst thing you can do is not squat and then dynamically get into these positions and not have the stability or strength at the bottom position to be able to handle different challenges that you may face on the field. So the other thing that we want to look at is the two major things that really limit our ability to get down into a good end range position of the squat. It's going to be our ankle mobility and our hip flexion. Okay, so I've got a lot of movement tests on movementlink.fit that allow you to test, do you have the proper ankle range of motion to be able to hit these different positions without getting compromised and dumping power when we're trying to make a move and then make a play. Okay, if you're lacking that hip, then we might not be able to get down far enough. We might get too bent over. Our back might get rounded, and we're just decreasing our longevity in the sport and our ability to make plays and have options. So, a few things to keep in mind. Your training should be in the context of what your specific sport is. And if you play baseball or softball, you need to think about the positions that you actually need to use in your sport and make sure that your training is functional. But a squat, there's 100 different ways to squat. So a squat is not inherently functional. You need to make sure that the majority of the way that you're squatting has direct that's going to be an outtake, has direct, specific transfer to your sport and the positions that you need in your sport. So what we're looking at is straight feet, your hip and ankle's ability to bend and get into these positions. We do a lot of rotated dumbbell snatches, things like that, because there's a lot of rotation and things going on. So we need to make sure that you specifically have a general foundation from your time spent in the gym that's specific enough to transfer to the demands of your sport. Hope that helps. Talk to y'all soon.